We're going to get back to your calls in a minute, but let's talk about what on earth happened at Everton today when Nottingham Forest had 4 penalty shouts in their 2-0 defeat. After the game, this statement was made on X by the club. 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. NFFC will now consider its options. That was the club statement, but now let's hear from Nottingham Forest boss Nuno Espirito Santo, who didn't hold back after the game.
I was aware of that complaint. It's a formal complaint. Every club is entitled to do it if they feel that they are not comfortable. The PGMOL decide the other way. If Stuart Arthur is not a fan or Luton, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in the end of the day. That doesn't matter. He's there to do his job. In starting with Anthony Taylor today, he did a bad job. And VAR did a bad job because the decisions are bad. I'm telling you, after we lose a game, everybody will say, okay, look at the manager, look, he's getting excuses. No, it's not an excuse, it's the reality. It's the reality. We don't know what can happen with that decision, but they are bad decisions, are penalties, and VAR should help the referee. I saw it.
I mean, the club says that it will consider its options now. I just wonder,
Sorry?
The club said in the statement that it will consider its options now going forwards. I just wonder, are you happy with this playing out on social media, with this playing out in public? Because, I wonder how you feel as the manager coming down having to answer questions about it.
Yeah, so look, I rather speak about other things. I rather speak about the need that we have in these 4 games. I rather speak about the performance and the standards of the players. But this is been going on so long. Since I arrived, I have this feeling growing and growing. So we must understand the reaction of the club. We must understand because we owe this to our fans. 1,000 people or more, 2,000-3,000 people, thousands of people travel. They are in city ground. They need to be respected. The referees must know and assess that they are being bad decisions against us. Decisions that are costing us points, not only penalties. Just remember the final minutes, 30 seconds to go on the game against Liverpool. You know what I mean? So you must understand that we react like that.
But I just want to clarify, finally, You're talking about bad decisions.
Poor decisions.
But are you saying these are just bad decisions? You're not intimating there's something untoward going on here?
Look, if we were another country, we will start speaking about conspiracy. You know what I mean?
So you think we should be talking about conspiracy?
No, I don't. I'm not talking about that. But why always this? And then comes the answer from the panel that they have 1 week after saying, no, you were right. You were entitled to a penalty, blah, blah, blah. But what's the point? Seems like they are playing with us.
Wow. That was a damning 3 minutes from the Nottingham Forest manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, who, in a roundabout way, has suggested that if he was in another country, now you've managed about part of football clubs in other countries' parts, what does he mean by that? What's the nuances there? Because, for example, in Greece, it's very common practice for teams to talk out about the refs. It's not the same. They're not protected in the same way as in the UK, right?
Well, yeah, it's a different kind of feel for referees
culture.
In Greece. Yeah, it is a different culture. And Mark Glattenberg, who he's employed at Nottingham Forest, was running the Referees Association in Greece.
Was he
so
really?
he's very much aware of it, yeah. So
makes
there's
sense.
that connection,
yeah.
And this whole thing, it seems to be like they're getting themselves bogged down with this whole refereeing or whatever they want to call it. I'm not going to even mention the word that he mentioned, right? Because I think we're about as legit as any country in England. And, they got 26 points from 34 games. In any other year, they would be really banging trouble. Yeah. They're so lucky that Luton and Burnley and Sheffield United have performed so badly, actually, in terms of points on the board. Are they going to get out of it? I think they are going to get out of it. But they need to focus on the game. Stop focusing on this refereeing situation. Where are they going with it? I don't understand it.
Well,
and today is just astonishing, really.
Well, I've been called a conspiracy theorist in my time, so I'm going to give you a little of mine.
Oh, good.
So you mentioned that Mark Clattenburg, who actually refereed me last year at a charity game for Maine. Up to Dukes. So another charity game coming this year, 5th of May, little plug. Clattenburg was the referee, right? But now he's working with Nottingham Forest, yeah? So Clattenburg is a legend within referees. Yeah, he's a Premier League legend, Clattenburg. So I know off of air who you support as a football player, as a football manager. A lot of people go, I didn't realise who Pard's actually his team is. I reckon he must know everyone's team. If he's got a relationship with them.
Yeah, possibly.
So perhaps he could have said, you know, him over there, he's a Luton fan. Possibly. It's a possibility. You know, I'm not saying it's the what's happening.
Well, you're definitely stirring a hornet's nest, which is starting to form up at Nottingham Forest. A hornet's nest.
But Nuno has started that, and I'm going to see what the Nottingham Forest fans think of it, because Dan was at the game today, and he must have seen. Dan,
I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
Listen, you know, we just heard 3 minutes from Nuno there. He's absolutely fuming. What's your thoughts on those? He should be. I've seen those. The calls were terrible, Dan. That's as simple as that.
It's more than terrible. It's borderline corruption. Like, you can't have a Luton fan on the VAR in a relegation scrap.
But this is the problem, Dan. How do we know he's a Luton fan? What's to say he's a Luton? Was he there in a Luton shirt this afternoon? How do we know?
He might as well have been. Did you see the decision?
As we've seen the decision, then they were terrible. Completely with you on that. Terrible decisions today. Me and Pards have both looked at those and thought they're awful.
But we also, Dan, had this situation with Wolves, didn't we? This was about 3 months ago, and Wolves had this run of calls that were killing them. And you definitely had bad calls today, in my opinion. I looked at those penalties, and you could have given any one of them, and obviously you didn't even get a shout on one with the VAR or the referee. So it was a tough day. But a conspiracy, no, I can't see it. And I have no idea that Stuart Atwell is a fan of Luton. That is something that I don't know where that's come from.
Well, it's just. It's a relegation scrap, right? It's a 6-pointer.
That is for sure.
Luton are the new boys in the league. They're showing a different way of doing things. People are giving them plaudits for...
Yeah,
I don't know what
they got a good feeling about them from neutrals.
Yeah, be staying up. And personally, I just think the 3 decisions today is abysmal. It's been happening all season, all across the league.
Right, Stuart Atwell's from Nuneaton. Why would he not be a Coventry fan?
Oh, listen, I don't know. You know, Man United fans are all from London.
Well, we know that. We've heard a lot of them today. They've all sounded like Jimmy Bullard.
We don't know. People support. They support for whatever reason. But it was just so blatant today. I just can't understand how it's gone the way it's gone.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I mean, more importantly, you got... the fixtures you got left, you got Man City at home, Sheffield United away, Chelsea at home, Burnley away. I mean, presumably you see yourself safe from that, or where do you see yourself?
Realistically, you are talking 6 points, right? So 6 points probably should make us safe because everyone else in the league is just terrible.
Dan, can I do something here, Dan? I want to bring an Everton fan in right now to plead his case. Is that all right with you? Bring an Everton fan on to have his say as well.
That's fine with me.
Let's do it. Adam's the Everton fan. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening. How are we doing?
Yeah, very good. A massive win for you today, but it's clouded in around. Lots of talk of conspiracies and corruption. What did you make of the decisions on field, Adam?
I thought 2 out of the 3 were penalties, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Nice honesty there.
Was you at the game, Adam?
No, you know what? I had 2 tickets for me and my 11-year-old daughter, but the atmosphere's been a little bit touchy. Obviously, when the pressure's up, the crowd becomes very nervous, and I was worried that if the result didn't go well, it wouldn't be a nice environment.
Yeah,
that's a good decision. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the language can get a little bit heated when it's in a relegation battle. I can understand that. Yeah. But I mean, Everton, they've won 10 games this year, and obviously you've had the points deduction, and you've stuck on 30 points, but probably done enough now Did you think that they deserved to win today?
I think it was a close game. I mean, I appreciate the problems that the Forest fans have got with the decisions, but I watched the second half and they play some awful football. You can blame decisions, but you've got to put the ball in the net at the end of the day, and the record speaks for itself in the league, much in the same way as Everton does as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you reckon of that, Dan?
I mean, I understand, but if you're denied 3 Stonewall penalties, that's essentially 3 free goals, no? Unless the penalty taker's awful. But, like, Gibbs White's a baller. We know that. So, I just... It should never have gone the way it should have gone. It should have been properly checked. Everything should have gone through the proper processes. We should have got the penalties. And then we're looking at a different story, and everyone's praising VAR and doing this and doing that. VAR's been a shambles all year, and we're now stuck in a position where we might get relegated, lose tens of millions of pounds because of dodgy decisions.
Well, I know one thing. If you do get relegated, there'll be court cases. The owner will definitely be going for somebody. There's no doubt about that. You know, amazingly, I was just looking at the stats here about goals scored, right? Forest have got 42 scored that they've got this year in 34 games. Everton have scored only 34 goals.
It's been very poor.
Unbelievable.
Been very poor.
To actually get 10 wins with 34 goals is some doing, by the way.
You know what? All of the messages, all the calls that have come in have come back to something that myself and Rory Jennings started back in December when we kind of being Jacobs in the daytime with our producer Ross. We wanted to partition by VAR.
Yeah.
And I think there would be hundreds of thousands of signatures of people saying
I think
it hasn't done its job.
No, and I think
goal line technology has. This hasn't.
Yeah, and I think you'd find that a few Premier League managers would love to put their names to that list as well. And I'm not talking about ex like myself at the moment, but current Premier League managers are all over the place about it.
So why don't we?
Because I think they're going to have to really address it. I think we all know that it's not going away. It isn't going away because FIFA are not going to address it and UEFA are not going to let it go. And actually, they seem to be doing a better job than the Premier League anyway. You know, when I watch the qualifiers, or I watch European football, in terms of Europa League this week, it seems like it's being handled with a lot less kind of controversy. We seem to be throwing up controversy all the time over it. Message
from David, who's a Chelsea fan, said VAR is to assist the referee, not overrule him, and this is the problem, isn't it? Really, it's like someone makes a decision. It should be the clear and obvious, as we mentioned. Even with offsides needs to be clear and obvious. A toenail is not clear enough offside.
Well, if we go back like 4 or 5 months, that conversation that they sent out, didn't they, that we was listening to from the VAR and the referee was just like chaotic. Yeah. It was like, wow, the system's gone mad, you know. And also, you know, this issue of going to the screen, and what have we had? 1, 2, 3 referees stick with their decision only the whole season. Otherwise, they've changed it.
Absolutely. I like this. We got done today. 3 proper penalties. Keep goal line technology. Keep the offside technology, but everything else is subjective. Get rid of it. Big up to Derek. 03717 22 some Man United fans unhappy, but I can't imagine Forest fans are either, so get in contact with us right now on that number, 03717 22 and we'll hear from the Man United boss, Eric Ten Hag, on the Final Word phone in next.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.